Okay, let's go ahead and, as promised, create with this beautiful new cover die from Concord and Ninth. They did send this to me as part of their latest release when they released all of their new colors. Now, some of these are their new colors. It is this one, which is watermelon, creamsicle, and then we have grasshopper here. I did go ahead into my collection, so let me kind of get these in order of new versus existing colors. So these are part of these three are new, and then these are part of their existing collection. So I went ahead and pulled some additional colors, and I will be sure to name each of the colors in the description box below. That way you can recreate this with the exact same cardstock if you'd like. And everything that I'm using will be linked down below if you would like to go ahead and add any of these things to your own craft room. But let's go ahead and get started. I instantly, when I saw this for the first time, wanted to do some paper piecing, and I know it kind of makes us gasp a little bit because paper piecing involves a little bit of time and patience, but I feel like it's going to be worth it. There's a lot of fun lines, and I think this is going to be a wow factor in terms of color, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, what I think would be the best way for me to do it, now everyone works differently, so if this isn't the best for you, then do it your way, but I think I'm going to cut each color as I go instead of cutting all at once and having tons of little pieces on my craft table. So what I'm going to do is I'll start with the watermelon, and then I will paper piece that in, and then I'll go from there and continue cutting each of the colors just to keep myself organized. Okay, so I'm gonna open this up, and first thing that I want to do is, I think I'm going to paper piece on my actual card base. So I'm going to take this out and create a little panel, and I'm going to create the card base at the very beginning versus the end, and then we'll do all of our creating right on there. Okay, I am so bummed because of all of the die cutting that I'm going to be doing for this card. I thought I would bring in my electronic die cutting machine, my Gemini Junior, but it's the first time that I have brought it out since I unpacked everything from my move, and I don't think it made it. I packed everything so well. This is the first thing that didn't make it, so I'm gonna have to rebuy a die cutting machine. So sad, but many of you have been asking where she is, and she was just packed away, but now she's gonna have to be retired and replaced. Poor girl. Okay, I think something is bound to not make it in a move. We actually did really well in everything else. So if that's my loss, then I guess I'll take it. Okay, so I'm gonna take off the tape here, and I'll use my spell binders, which I equally love, but when doing so much die cutting, it's always nice to have something a little bit more electronic just to save a little effort. Okay, so I'm going to cut this upside down, and I'm going to make sure this is nice and placed because this is actually my card panel that I'm going to be using. So I do want this to look really nice, and that looks good. However, I think I will bring in some tape and just make sure that I position that just right. Okay, so that looks good. I'll just tape that down on both sides. Again, just because for this white piece, this is 80-pound cardstock that I'll link below, but for this white piece, I want to use that to place all my little die cuts inside. So let's place this in here, and then I put this face down on my cutting plate, but I'm going to actually run it through upside down. But it's still going to be cutting into my cutting plate. Okay, let's see if we can push through there. There we go. And it looks like it did a really good job. Okay, so you can keep all of these little pieces. I'm personally not going to for this project on this one, but you certainly can. I may keep the colored ones that come off of the next pieces that I do. Okay, let me gently remove this tape, and I'm gonna get a little recycling can for all of the little pieces, but oh my word, how neat is this? I knew instantly that I was going to love this. Isn't that neat? Okay, I am going to get myself super organized And I think what I'll do is do all of my die cutting off camera, but just know that I'm going to run them through upside down because look at that cut. That really helped get a really nice cut. Isn't this gonna be fun? Okay, I think all of you need something comfy and cozy to either sip or enjoy. So either pour a glass of wine, grab some chocolate, whatever is fun for you to relax with, because I think this is gonna be really gratifying to watch come together. And I think in the end, it's gonna be totally worth all of this labor of love. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start with creating our card base, and I'm going to do a top folding card. So I have 11 by 4 1/4. Previously I used 80-pound cardstock, but for my card base, I'm going to use 110-pound cardstock. And because this is 11, I'm going to score right in the middle at 5.5, just like this. And then I'm actually I will fold it. I was gonna say, maybe I won't fold it, but I'll just fold it and then reopen it as I work on it. But I'm going to keep out my score buddy in the meantime because I want to use this to help line up my little cover die here. Okay, just like that. So let me add some glue to the back of this, and then we will place this on here and it'll be our template. So I wanna make sure that I go all the way around the edges, and then I'm just gonna get some key areas within the middle. So I'll just get a lot of these big pieces because it would be crazy time consuming to get every little piece, but I'll just get these main big areas. Although I'm fibbing because I'm finding myself just getting everything. Why not? It's actually not as daunting as I thought it was going to be to put a little glue on each one. Okay, so I did add glue to each and every little part here. So now, still using this, I'm going to make sure this is right in the corner, grab my piece here, and then I can just place it right in the corner with the bottom card, and it automatically lines it all up. So once it's lined up, I can take this off, turn this over, sorry that was an awful noise, and then I'll press that down really good. It's easier to press it down from the back because you have a nice smooth surface than pressing it on the front. You still could, but honestly, that right there is just stunning. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now comes the fun. So we get to start adding some color, but again, honestly, I think that is so cool. It looks like just a really fun embossed background. So you could even stop there and then add a splash of color with some sentiments. Way cool. So now I'm going to start doing all of my die cutting. And again, I decided to do it one color at a time. So I'll cut that color, insert the color, and then move on to the next one. Also, I need to be mindful that I think I picked 6 colors, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 openings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one has 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just these main diamonds. So I think I'll just repeat this watermelon that one time. So I'll just be mindful of that when I do this, I need to grab the 2 pieces. Actually, I know I don't want to have any repeating colors, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add 1 more color, and this is going to be my order. So this is the nectar, then I'm going to do the watermelon, and then I will do the clementine, and then I will follow with the rest of these colors. So this is going to be my new color layout. And again, I'll make sure to look up each of these colors. I know most of them by heart, but some of them I'm still, ooh, I like that. That's really neat. Okay, so we're gonna just add the addition of the nectar to the front, and that's gonna be perfect. And I'll grab more of a scrap piece of that nectar. Let's see if I could even do this. Aha, I can. Now, I don't need to tape this down because again, I'm just needing to get those pieces. So, as long as those pieces get cut out, we're just fine. And again, I'll just run this through upside down and we'll get to really having fun creating. There we go. Okay, I'm only going to add the nectar in the areas where there are 7 openings, because that was going to be my 7th color. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to add the nectar here. Okay, and I have a little pickup tool, and let's turn that around, and we'll place those right in there, just like that. Okay, and then I can even use a little stamp block. I really need to clean mine. It's got glue all over it. But I can use that also just to kind of help get those all positioned in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to leave that one and that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to add the nectar on those as well. So we're going to have that piece. Okay, so I'll go ahead and place these other pieces in. I'm just adding my glue to the actual card base and not the back of the paper pieces, just because, again, that's a choice that's easier for me. But take this inspiration and create however you would like. There's something so relaxing about paper piecing, though. Okay, now I'm just going to continue by cutting and adding the colors, and I'm going to put music on because you understand what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting, gluing, and making sure I have the proper order, and it's really going to come together. Okay, there is my last piece. Oh my gosh, I love how that turned out. I think the colors are so fun. So now I just need to decide on a sentiment that I want to do. Let me go ahead and let me pull some of the other new things that came and see what we want to do. Okay, I went ahead and did this thinking of you sentiment in gold, but I also cut out 2 shadow layers in just some 80-pound white cardstock. I'm hesitant to cover up any of this backdrop, but at the same time, it definitely needs some kind of sentiment on there, but some of the smaller sentiments I thought didn't quite fit the scale of the card. So I went with this thinking of you. I think it's really cute. And I also think that it's about placement. So if we just place it in a good spot, we can still showcase a lot of that color. All right. And then I'll just place this as best as I can, and then I can shift it into position. Didn't do too bad. And just nudge those pieces right where they belong. And scoop this one just a little bit. There we go. Okay, I think that looks good. Now I need to find the little dots to my eyes. And I'll just add that little glue right there and there. And we have 1 and 2. Okay. Right on the back of this little sentiment, I am going to add some of these smaller square foam squares and just give it a little bit of pop. It looks really nice. Okay, and I have my sentiment. I took all the little sticky backers off for the little liners. And again, it's about the placement here. So you could do right in the middle, but I actually like how it kind of shows how that pattern starts. And I'm actually thinking here looks really nice because I like how the Y kind of dips down and takes the kind of line of this bottom line. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I will do right about there. So just a little down and to the right. Yeah, I like that. And I think that you still get so much of the color because honestly, we're just losing these 2 colors down in here and the pink, of course, but you're still getting the whole movement of that pattern, which I think is really nice. I'm not going to add any additional embellishment on there because I just feel like it has enough going on. And I also really like the shine of the sentiment. So that is going to be my final card. I think that turned out really fun. I like how it turned out. I think it is definitely something that is a labor of love. I'm looking at my timer right now. I am at 1 hour and 3 minutes. So yes, it does take a bit of time, but I have honestly wasted 1 hour doing far less things before. So at least I got something out of it. And honestly, I think stuff like this relaxes me. I can't speak to everybody. I know that some people would not find this enjoyable at all. But if you don't end up doing something like this, I hope that you enjoyed watching it. Again, everything that I used will be linked down below, and I can't wait to continue crafting with you in the next video. Let me know if you give this a try.